I'm here with Sharon Stamper. Sharon's a former care worker who currently is unable to work because of illness and is having some very real difficulty in being taken seriously by the government, the benefits agency, and pretty much anyone who should have a role in helping Sharon out. So Sharon, hi, thank you for talking to me.
Hey, Stuart.
I guess probably the first thing I need to ask you is just what happened? How did you come to be in the position that you're in?
I became ill in 2017. I have fibromyalgia, and because of a lot of stresses that I had going on at home, I think that's what was escalating the fibromyalgia, plus the unsociable hours at work and the work that you had to do.
You said unsociable hours, so what were you doing?
Morning shift, I would be up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be there for 5:45 and work till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then a back shift, I would start at 3 o'clock and finish at 11. But by the time you wind down, it's maybe 1 o'clock, 1:30 when you're getting to sleep. And the shifts, they weren't just a week of mornings and a week of backs. It was one day, it was maybe a morning shift, a day off, a morning shift, a day off, and then you would have a back shift. So they were like, your body wasn't getting a rest.
What happened next?
I was off work for 8 weeks. The GP said that I had to go back. So I did, and I was only in for 8 weeks, which took us to 10th of January, and my health escalated again.
Right.
So I went back to the GPs and they signed us off. Done loads of tests and it come back high glandular fever.
On top of
On
the
top
fibro...
of the,
Wow.
on top of the fibromyalgia, which escalated and made the fibromyalgia worse. It was awful. I slept. For a full 7 weeks I slept.
And so when people say things like you're sleeping your life away, you really were.
Yeah.
Wow, that must be so frustrating as well.
But that is fibromyalgia. Do you know, three or four times I've had like blips with fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
And I know that I've got to sleep. So I usually take, the GP will say, I'll give you the month off. No, I don't want a month. So she'll give us a month and I'll sleep for a fortnight. Then I'll go to see you and say, I want to sign back off, I'm going back to work.
Yeah.
2 weeks sleep usually is alright. But I think older I'm getting, more it's going to it's affecting us more.
Yeah, because you're nearly 27 now,
Yeah.
of course. So, I mean, would you say that you pushed yourself too hard?
I have.
Yeah.
But that's a failure of mine. I always do too much. I always have.
Yeah.
We're having 12 months off and no kids are out at home anymore. They've all grew up and gone. I reflect more now and I know I've always worked too hard. I've had to.
Yeah.
Being a single mum of 3 kids, I've always had to work hard to keep a roof over our heads and for the lads to have an okay life.
You were working in care.
Yeah.
And then your last job was something else.
Yeah. I felt, due to all the stresses in care and everything that was happening, my contract finished and I just thought it was time to do something different. So I went into shop retail work.
Right. Okay, and that ended when?
In June last year.
Right, June of 2019.
Yeah.
So we're talking really 2 years of trying and struggling to stay at work.
2000. I started the job in the shop in 2015, so I was there for a while. But yeah, I've struggled for the last 12-18 months.
Yeah. So you're the sort of person that, I mean, people like Ian Duncan Smith, David Cameron, I mean, you can rhyme them all off. All of these these politicians have been talking about the genuinely unwell who genuinely want to work, and you're the people that the system works for. What's your experience of that?
It doesn't work. I love working. I like being out to work and being independent. But me being poorly for as long as I have, the system doesn't help. It doesn't help. Universal credit, I get £358 a month.
A month.
And my rent's £87 a week. So it doesn't cover, because I've got to find £100 for bedroom tax. We'd having 2 spare bedrooms.
Right. All right. So do you have difficulty in cooking then?
I did when I was really poorly.
Yeah.
I just couldn't stand long enough for to cook a meal.
Right. I mean, is that to the point that you'd feel you have to sit down, or were you falling down? Or, I mean, what was
Well, I have a seat in the kitchen and I sit on the seat.
Right.
When I put the meal in, when I was putting the meal in the microwave, I was sitting down on the seat until it cooked. I was just physically exhausted. My body was just absolutely exhausted.
It sounds horrendous.
Awful.
So, how have the DWP been with you? Because this is obviously genuine stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not obvious to look at.
Yeah.
How have you found the DWP?
The DWP, when I finished work in June under ill health last year, 2019, I'd already filled a form in for sick money in, I think it was round about March time. Pardon me, when I went in and told them I'd finished, they escalated it for us to have a medical.
Right.
Then the medical come back and said that I was fit for work. It said I was fit for work, and I knew I wasn't, because the more I tried to do to push myself, I know with fibromyalgia, if I push myself after having sleep and rest, I can usually push myself back to where I need to be.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. More I was pushing myself, more I was knocking myself back. So when I spoke to my GP, she told us, don't do anything. So then I got my medical results back, and they told us I was fit for work. Spoke to my GP, and she said, you're not. So I spoke to, I appealed it. I appealed the decision. I put a mandatory appeal in, and that was, did I get the results back in the July, and I'm still waiting now for a mandatory appeal.
Well, it's now January of the following year, so that's a full 6 months.
Yeah. So I have asked, because you get like a journal for your universal credit. So I have asked on there, is there any news or any updates for the mandatory appeal? And it's just, they've wrote back and said it's with the adjudicating officer.
For 6 months?
Yeah. And I've asked in the job, well, I don't go to the job centre, they phone. I just have telephone appointments.
Right.
And I have asked in there, and she said there's that many people put in for it and put a mandatory appeal in. She's this mountains and mountains of appeals that they're having to go through.
Wow. I mean, if there are so many appeals, that in itself suggests a problem with the system, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course it does.
So, what's life like for you now?
I don't sleep now. I don't sleep every day like I was. But saying that, if I do, where I'm potting about now and doing things, little cleaning and doing little jobs. But see, I like wash my kitchen, do my kitchen door fronts and mop the floor. I maybe sleep for an hour.
Just to be clear, when you say little jobs, you mean something like wash the floor. You don't mean go out and do a job.
Oh, no. I mean mopping the floor or washing the front of the kitchen doors.
Because somebody will misinterpret you saying that. You know that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And I have been going to Labour Party meetings and branch meetings because I am on the town council and a Labour member.
Tell me a bit more about that, because you've done quite a lot in that respect, haven't you?
I have. A few years ago, Mediport Town Council used to have, it was called the Mediport Partnership, and I was the vice chair for the crime and the chair for health.
Right.
When the Tories got in, the dreaded Tories, all that finished just before 2010, I think it was.
So how did that impact the local community when the partnerships ended?
Things started falling apart, didn't it? There wasn't as much funding. There was youth groups, because the partnership had money, or they could get money for other groups. Yeah. And they used to fund like youth clubs to help the kids off the street corners committing crime, and they helped fund a drug and alcohol charity. Really? Yeah. To help with like a drop-in centre. Okay.
So it's stuff that was aimed at having a real impact upon the local community and trying to make people's lives better.
Better, yeah.
So, Are you still active in the council?
I am. I'm active in the council. After the partnership finished, we had a lot of, we all walked away from it, but we had a lot of trouble in the town with BNP.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, so we set a group up. There was a few of us set a group up. We used to stand on the street corners, nearly got run over by BNP. They used to mount the pavement, try and run us over, because they were trying to win seats off the Labour Party.
Yeah.
So for months on end, we used to stand on the street corners, deliver leaflets. And then then the elections were, and then they didn't get in. So it was like, yes, it was a victory. So then I was asked to be on the council. Did I want to stand?
Oh.
So then I stood to be a town councillor. I was independent at first because I wasn't part of the Labour Party. And then I became a Labour Party councillor, which I'm supported by the JMB Union, an affiliated member through the JMB.
Right.
Which are really supportive towards the role I do on the town council.
Well, tell me about that. Tell me what the union's like for you.
They have helped. When I was campaigning this time for the elections, they helped fund money. I don't know how much, but they helped fund towards the campaign that we done. Because I'm an affiliated member, they pay something to the town council every month. I think it's every month. They pay a little bit to the town. It's not much, but they do pay.
Yeah, but again, it's paid back to the community.
Yeah, which are really good, yeah.
And I seem to remember you said something about when you were having to work really unsociable hours, the union was very useful then.
When I worked in home care, when we were doing, they'll give you 60 hours or 60 odd hours, and then following week you get 4 hours. The union rep was really good. She went in and she more or less wiped the floor with them, so that I was getting structured hours. You know, I was a single mum of 3 boys. At the time they were only young lads. I can't work 60 hours when I had them. So she said, get out of the working time directive. So I signed that, but I think it takes 3 months, if I remember that rightly, to come up to sign off it. From when you first sign off till you come off it. And then she went in, they were still giving us loads of hours or no hours. So then she went in, we had a meeting with them, and she sort of wiped the floor. She was absolutely fantastic, that union rep. She was brilliant.
Oh, it's good to hear that story, because so many people nowadays, particularly young people in the workforce, they don't appreciate what a union is for, or how helpful a union can be. So it's nice to hear a story like that, where, I mean, effectively, your position at work must have been untenable with your 3 boys.
Yeah.
And the union comes in, and suddenly you've got a reasonable set of working conditions.
You need, I mean, for stability, for your own life, you need stability in your work life.
Of course.
And if you haven't got that, it's no good, is it?
Yeah.
Everything's up in the air, and you don't know whether you're coming or going. And I needed stability. Yeah.